Hey, everybody, I'm Tara. This is the School Nurse Unfiltered, and this is going to be our anaphylaxis deep dive part 1. So stay tuned, and we're going to get going. So I want to start with something that sounds simple, right? Because when we talk about anaphylaxis or allergies, we start thinking just about, that student or parent marks that box that says food allergy, and they're kind of like, now what? Now what do we do, right? And so I want you to know a couple of things. We want to start talking and thinking about what is the allergen? What are they actually allergic to? What happens when your child is exposed? These are questions we want to be asking. What happened during the last time they had a reaction? How old were they? How quickly did those symptoms develop? And has your child ever had true anaphylaxis? Have they ever had to get epinephrine or stay the night in the hospital or go in an ambulance? Do they have to have more than one dose? What happened when they went to the ambulance? Do they have to have a tube put down? All of those things. I ask things like, do they have asthma? Can they recognize their own symptoms? And if they're little guys, sometimes they can't do that. And can they carry their own epinephrine with them? What's your school board policy, ed code say for you in that? Are they even able to do that if they were in trouble or something was wrong? And I want to ask things like, where is the child going to eat? What about classroom celebrations? Do they go to before school, after school? Is there breakfast? I think of things like in your classroom and science projects or just fun projects with your teachers. We all want to know that because that allergy doesn't just stay in the office, right? It follows the kid wherever they go. And we always want to remember that just because they have anaphylaxis doesn't mean it's just hives. You can have a serious reaction without those obvious skin things. So you can have difficulty breathing. They can have vomiting, dizziness, weakness, shortness of breath, face swelling, all of those layers. It's not just starting out with hives, right? So I'm going to give you a scenario. It's a fifth grader. It's at lunch. She has a tree nut allergy, and a yard duty says, hey, she told me her throat feels funny. She kind of starts coughing a little bit. So they send her to the office by herself. First of all, we never want to send a kiddo that's saying those symptoms to the office by themselves. They need a buddy, or you're going to call on the radio or whatever your system is to get help to come to you, right? So then we want to think about like the CDC even talks about that, just so you know, about don't leave that child alone. You want somebody with them, an adult. So then we want to start that emergency process. We want to make sure the nurse is contacted, that we have epinephrine, wherever that is, your stock epinephrine, somebody's bringing it to you or coming to the child. And we want to start thinking who's with them, stay with them. We're going to be calling 911. A lot of times for a long time, it was like, well, we'll just give them Benadryl and see what happens. And that is old school thinking. We're not doing that anymore. We're dealing with anaphylaxis. And epinephrine is the only life-saving medication that is going to help that and delay so they can get help at a higher level of care like a hospital. That antihistamine reaction is a systemic, and we want to make sure that that epinephrine's on board, right? So that means we're going to do our homework before we even get to that. We want to make sure that the kiddo has a health plan. Do we know about it? Does your teachers know about it? Does the office know about it? Do we have medication orders from a doctor? Do we have an EpiPen on hand, or we're going to use a stock one? Or is the stock one located? And so I just really want to make sure that we understand the kid's history and you get a really good, clear picture from family. And you want people to make sure that whoever's supervising them, that they have that clear picture, right? And they know what to do and they've been trained. One more thing. If you have somebody with a food allergy, a Section 504 can be appropriate for that. The Department of Ed says that an allergy to food can constitute a disability with substantially limiting their major life activity. So you want to have that conversation. Does it mean that they're going to have a 504? No. But does it mean we should probably talk about it and see what they need and what's that access look like for them? So a couple of takeaway points for this part 1 in this deep dive is don't stop just at food allergy being marked. Assess the child, look at the history, look at their environment, what's going on around them, look at their medication, and make sure that there's no potential gaps in understanding between like the cafeteria and the teacher, the office, the nurse. So everybody's on the same page to make sure that kiddo is safe. And then make sure that you've done some symptom training on recognizing anaphylaxis and what they need to do and what does that look like. So in our next deep dive number 2, we're going to talk about epinephrine and when seconds matter. But for now, that is the deep dive on anaphylaxis. I'm Tara. This is the School Nurse Unfiltered. Please like and subscribe. Keep following. I appreciate you guys and have a great day. Bye.